Hi everyone, welcome to an update from the remote development workstream. So we've been working on a problem where we want to be able to generate Kubernetes manifest from a dev file in Ruby. Now the original library, which is from the Devfile community, that's been written in Go. And so essentially what we want to be able to do is not rewrite all that code in Ruby, but instead somehow call the Go code from Ruby. Now, what we've been investigating, what has been suggested in one of the threads, is that we should try to use FFI, and that's what we're trying to do here. So essentially, if you see this code written in Ruby, and we've kind of published this as a gem, is that you take a YAML input, which is our Devfile YAML, and you call this simple Ruby function that parses the def file and then gets the deployment out of the def file. And so this is essentially just telling us how to generate a Kubernetes deployment from a def file, and this works. So if I run main.rb, you can see that it's generating the Kubernetes manifest, and we can generate more than one manifest if you wanted to from this method. So what we're actually doing behind the scenes here is, if I show you the code, is that we are wrapping the Go code in a very small wrapper and a very light wrapper, and all that's doing is really it's parsing the def file, calling the def file library, and it's generating the YAML. We've had to use CGO for this, and so we've had to do a few changes to the code, but that's not a lot. It's about 6-7 lines of C code that we've had to write. But otherwise, it's mostly all written in pure Go, and then this function is then called from Ruby using FFI. So in Ruby, we are referencing the library that we created in Go. So we compile that Go files to a library, and then we reference that in Ruby using FFI, and then we just bind that to an object here. And essentially what we're doing here is a bit of error handling, just to make sure in case the dev file is not valid, we throw an error and things like that. And we're publishing this as a gem. Now what's happening when you install the gem, we run a script which basically builds the binary. So that's another part of what we're doing here, is we build the binary after the gem is installed. We actually compile the Go code and generate a binary for that platform. A few questions we have is that the right approach to distribute? An alternative approach that we were thinking of is to actually generate the SO files for each platform and then just vendor it into our Git repository, so that we don't have to compile it on the spot. Another question that we had is around how do we, is this faster than just calling out to a process? What if we wrap the def file library and create a binary out of it and just pass it standard in and get standard out? And so those are really the things that we're considering. Thank you for listening.